The XRP ledger was really at introduction, it had an embedded decentralized exchange. At introduction, it had a tokenization engine. We didn't call it a tokenization engine, we called it an issue asset framework.
Not all stablecoin issuers are the same. Some are regulated, some are not. We're the most regulated in the land by being regulated as a trust bank out of New York State. And so that's different than a Tether that's largely unregulated.
To create such a thing, now it looks like we're well on the way to creating a framework, which I think is something we need. You know, if we're going to have stablecoins, and apparently we need to have a federal and state level regulatory framework, which I think we're making progress towards having.
So I think it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real world assets that exhibit fundamental utility.
Outside of the US, outside of Europe, you see the absolute need for this technology, and you see the value that it brings, and you see the problems that it solves. And I think for me, once I saw that, I was like, we can do this. And so we just needed to stay focused.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I'll be getting plenty. They want all your bags, and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Shout out to the ladies. So appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We got XRP currently right around $2.19. We got one from Eleanor Terrett to pop things off. Scoop, SEC Gov's in the early stages of creating a generic listing standard for the token-based ETFs in coordination with exchanges. I'm told if the token meets the criteria, issuers could skip the 19B4 process, file an S1 and wait 75 days, and exchange could list it. This approach could save both issuers and the SEC a lot of paperwork and back and forth on comments. Ball bearing, breaking, system upgrade, or strategic pivot. American Express sparks Ripple integration buzz. The timing of this upgrade alongside AMX's expanding crypto partnerships such as with Coinbase suggests strategic shift towards blockchain-powered solutions for global payments. XRP. Hidden in plain sight. We got Watch Your Guru Justin Fair. Chair Powell calls crypto stablecoin a positive step and says framework is well underway. The regulation to our molasses is about to burst open.
Let me say on stablecoins, if I can.
Yep.
I do share the concerns that you hear here, but I also think it's a positive step that we don't have a regulatory framework for these now in the United States. We tried very hard in the last Congress to work with, people on both sides of the aisle to create such a thing. Now it looks like we're well on the way to creating a framework, which I think is something we need. You know, if we're going to have stablecoins, and apparently we need to have a federal and state level regulatory framework, which I think we're making progress towards having.
Regulations then price, or price then regulations? Let me know in the comment section down below. We got Dune. XRP Ledger is now on Dune. The iconic fast, low cost, and decentralized blockchain with 10 plus years of uptime is now fully queryable. Let's check it out. XRPL is one of the most iconic battle-tested blockchains active since 2012 and resilient through every market cycle and wave of innovation. 4 billion plus total transactions. Daily transactions grew from 50K in 2013 to over 2.2 million in 2025. 14 million plus XRP paid in total transaction fees. XRP Ledger keeps adding users, rare for a blockchain this mature. 5.6 million total accounts, 2,800 joined yesterday. Also, growth is accelerating from 1 to 2,000 new users a day in 2022. 8K plus spikes in 2025. DAUs are rising to 30K plus daily this year after a 100K plus peak in 2022. XRP, faster, cheaper, more efficient. XRP transactions, 14.1 million transactions this week. 78,000 plus unique active senders. Average 180 transactions per user in just 7 days. We got XRP Ledger now live on Dune. Dune.com, built together with Web3's largest community of top data engineers. A trusted home for multi-chain data, unparalleled coverage, quality, and convenience. Data trusted by millions since 2018. Digital Perspectives, Ripple's Jack McDonald, Senior VP for RLUSD, explains why RLUSD stablecoin is more highly regulated than any other stablecoin, including Tether and USDC. RLUSD is one step further up the regulatory food chain. There are much more rigor and requirements. Lock in XRP, the only digital asset with legal clarity with utility.
Stablecoins you can start to separate out the issuers, the types of stable coins. There's either US dollar backed or non-dollar backed, and then you can get into kind of subcategories of, are they 100% US dollar backed? US dollar backed stable coins represent 97% of the $240 billion market today. So I think that your question is really around US dollar backed stable coins. There's some speculation that not all dollar backed stable coins are the same. In our case, we follow the guidelines from our regulator, New York DFS, and only invest in high quality liquid assets in terms of those reserves. And so not all stablecoin issuers are the same. Some are regulated, some are not. We're the most regulated in the land by being regulated as a trust bank out of New York State. And so that's different than a Tether that's largely unregulated, certainly not regulated in the US, doesn't go through the same sort of regulatory requirements that we do. Circle issues their stable coins out of money transmitter licenses here in the US. We have some money transmitter licenses. We also have a trust bank charter, and that's where we issue the stable coin out of. So it's one step, I'd say, further up the regulatory food chain. There are much more rigor and requirements that we need to go through. And also, as a trust bank, we act as a fiduciary for our clients. So there's an important distinction there that only as a fiduciary can you hold client reserves in truly bankruptcy remote accounts, which we have. Specific to PayPal's stablecoin Pi USD, a little bit different in that they also enjoy being issued out of a New York regulated entity, Paxos. However, those are two different companies, and so PayPal essentially licenses the platform, if you will, or have a bit of a white label type of relationship with Paxos to get their stablecoin issued. We're different in that we're totally vertically integrated. So we have our own license. We control 100% of the economics, the issuance, the distribution, et cetera, and just rely on our own licenses to do that.
It's about to get real. RLUSD. We got Injective, XRP now live on Injective. Injective is the first major chain to integrate Pierce's XRP Ledger EVM mainnet, enabling a seamless gateway into one of the largest assets of all of crypto. Welcome to a new feature on-chain financial infrastructure. Welcome to Injective. Here we got Crypto Eddie here. Update super ugly. Link to update with bankruptcy coming in days. Expect customers will likely be transformed into unsecured creditors who will have to wait in line to get paid. From the boiler room sales tactics to selling to customers in Iran and North Korea, there are many more violations in between. This is guerrilla warfare. Take no prisoners. Throw everything we have at this one targeted date. Influencers, marketing, ads, social calls, and smoke signals. Emails from Bill Sayers on January 5th, 2023. Check out Crypto Eddie's page over on X at Sento Sumasoba for the full recap and highlights. Link to super ugly. Riz XRP. The XRP ledger is a tokenization engine. All the money, all the value.
The XRP ledger was really at introduction, it had an embedded decentralized exchange. At introduction, it had a tokenization engine. We didn't call it a tokenization engine, we called it an issue asset framework. But that's a tokenization engine. It has an embedded AMM.
We got one from DCENT Wallets. DCENT Wallet firmware update version 2.344. A new update experience built for security and simplicity. No bridges, software required. Fast updates right from your web browser. Simple, intuitive flow for all users. Trusted hardware, now easier to maintain. DCENT Wallets, link in the description for the XRP bags. Bagman exclusive discount on the single pack and the double pack. DCENT Wallet, your best wallet for XRP, XLM, XDC, Flare, Algo. Not your keys, not your crypto. DCENT Wallets, the link's down below. Lock in. Robinhood CEO, it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real world assets. Real world assets with utility like XRP, XRP Ledger.
I believe it will make it easier to invest in American companies if you're outside the world. It will also bring the markets into 24/7 and fully on-chain and get all the benefits that crypto technology levies on these traditional assets. So I think it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real world assets that exhibit fundamental utility.
XRP, the bridge. XRP money never sleeps, 24/7, 365, on demand. Liquidity. We got X Finance, Bull Swift takes 24 hours, Ripple Net takes seconds. Trump is pushing US-made crypto. The Fed just gave the banks the green light. Every bank will chase speed and they'll land on the Ripple net. Trillions are coming. XRP isn't here to join the system. It's here to replace it. Are you ready? Bags packed. Locked and loaded. We got crypto fan, plastic dogs, Leo, August, the sun on the Bears calendar, window 8. It all lines up. Brad shoots off his Starlink and rocket, and you'll see him through number 8 of the Bears window from inside his firelight-filled room at the time of the Saturn celebration, which is in Leo. The new world has new operating systems. August. July, we fly. We got Firelight, the foundation for institutional XRP Fi is here, delivering a secure, audited, and institutional-grade liquid staking protocol for your FXRP. We're igniting a capital-efficient future for the XRP ecosystem on Flare Networks. Danelle Dixon, when you have a rock-solid mission and you don't get caught up in the noise, we're focused on the finish line. Adoption. Stellar is playing the long game, creating a strong foundation that's built for success. XLM.
I talk a lot about the fact that there's so many shiny objects to look at and you need to stay hyper-focused on what you need to do. And I think we've done a really nice job of that at Stellar, despite the fact that it is hard sometimes because you see so much attention getting pushed elsewhere when I think we built the foundational pieces of infrastructure that needed to be leveraged. You needed to make sure that you had the asset issuers, you need to make sure you have on and off ramps, you need to make sure that you have liquidity, all these different components need to be there. And we were really hyper-focused on laying that foundation, and that's not sexy. And payments aren't necessarily sexy, although they're the ones that move, like make ecosystems move and make things change so much and actually what users really care about. So I think it was that conviction that we knew, I think Jed actually knew this from the day that he started Stellar, and he sold me on that idea right out of the box in 2019. And I think for me, it was, we're gonna make this happen because you can see as soon as you travel outside of the US, outside of Europe, you see the absolute need for this technology and you see the value that it brings and you see the problems that it solves. And I think for me, once I saw that, I was like, we can do this. And so we just needed to stay focused.
Sentiment feed. June was a month of chaos and mild retracements throughout crypto, but several projects stood out and still saw glorious market cap rise, well activity boosts, and social volume surges. We look at the leaders in several key categories in our latest report. And with that being said, Batman Bag Ladies, the next moonshot is upon us. The transformation of wealth, that regulations jar of molasses is bursting open. Nothing can stop XRP. I hope you've been loading up on the greatest opportunity of multiple lifetimes. And the longer they take, the higher we keep on climbing on that XRP. Rich list, where will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? We'll catch you up here on the mothership. I am the XRP Bagman, the Moon Commander. BYOB, bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. And don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Staring out my window, I got the formula, stacked them bags up and simple, and wait until we explode. I'll meet you at the disco, we just getting started like an intro. 589 the numbers, please, please call our bingo. We the new heroes, them trash coins you held